Good morning. I want to thank everybody for watching this kind of preview or review of the Interface 2.0 webinar. We're going to run through this a little quicker than the initial webinar, but we're real excited about what we've been doing here for the last 6 months, and that's been kind of building up Interface, getting everything on the same platform. Interface 2.0 is not the end of the road for us. It is the beginning of kind of getting everything on the same platform so that we can begin to really start doing some aggressive feature set programming because we really are excited about the opportunity and all the feature requests that our customers have kind of put in to play. So we've got a lot of things on the docket and we're real excited about kind of the opportunity and also the velocity of which people are purchasing Interface and wanting more and more opportunity for Interface inside of their company. So we're real excited. I wanted to kind of direct you guys before we get started too much in the software to interfaceforums.com. This is a new website that we just launched. Tells you more about the product, and then it also these are kind of our flagship website for everything that you may want to learn more about. And then also too, you can go to Explore under Products, and then that brings you into a resource for us. But One App for All, where you can learn more specifically about the product, download the manual. We're going to have training on here as well here in the coming months. So we're real excited about this as well. So without further ado, let's step into the new application Interface 2.0. Interface 2.0 obviously it's cleaner. It's not as kind of rich as far as the JavaScripting goes. By doing that, we actually removed four-fifths of the amount of code just to display certain buttons and certain third-dimensional functionality. It looked pretty, but it was heavy, especially if companies were running it as a web app in 3G environments where the internet was kind of shoddy. Just the performance wasn't great. So what we wanted to do is really get it into a situation where it could really kind of hum through the even a lower end internet connection and be able to allow you to access documents and approve things routed to you, fill out forms in kind of a tethered environment if that was required. So we're real excited. Obviously, the layout's still the same. It still is dynamic, so it does kind of fit whatever device it's on. You can hide the keypads as well to kind of give you a little bit more real estate. As to kind of show you what the forms look like, I'll use this little timesheet as an example here. Let's see, I got one over here. This timesheet's pretty straightforward. This is a little salary. Employee salary-based timesheet. You appreciate it. This is the new kind of layout, so it's cleaner. The categories here are actually out here to the side. They're hyperlinked, so you can hyperlink to the different categories really quickly. But what's nice architecturally is that we made it one long form. So if you were filling out a really long engagement, you can very quickly and easily scroll through after you fill out all the categories. Make sure you didn't miss anything. Make sure you can really quickly get to what you're looking for. Now the dialogues have changed a little bit. This is kind of the numeric. It kind of looks like this, or the date looks like this. The drop downs are the same. It's pretty straightforward there. Signaturing, we have e-signaturing as well that you can do. So all this is really kind of the new form layout if you're filling it out inside of the web function. And we're going to be doing a few other things as well, just to kind of make this pop a little bit more cosmetically, a little more appealing to the eye. But we're really excited about what we've done to this point so far, because there's a lot of things in here that really make the program that much better. Now, one thing that I will say is a big change is the duplication within the forms. Previously, a duplication duplicated vertically, so you would have these really long categories if you had a lot of duplications. Now that changes a bit. So for example, underneath job time, if I want to come here and I'm entering time for Wednesday, and then I want to duplicate this and enter time for Thursday, then you see it creates a tab, and the tab header is gleaned off of the first question. So if I were to go in there and enter in Thursday's time as well, appreciate I'm creating this nice tabbing structure here that I can very quickly and easily navigate, and it loads the first time with everything else. So it's very quick, very easy to use. You can imagine on a smartphone tablet, having that instant access, instant reaction on inside of a website without having it refresh and all the other functionalities there is really, really valuable. So this is really kind of the layout. The hyperlinking is really nice. If I've got a really long form, I can go quickly hyperlink to whatever category I want to get to very quickly and see those questions and answers, but still have that luxury instead of bouncing back and forth between the categories and the questions. Be able to see the full set of questions and answers is a luxury because it scrolls just like normal functionality on an iPad where you can kind of scroll all the way to the top of a web page or all the way to the bottom. Same functionality, so really great for that as well. Talked a little bit about the code already. We are making some enhancements as well to the data synchronizations between the applications when we pull down data and also when we submit. We're getting those times down to under 10 seconds. We're continually looking at compression opportunities and things like that. Because we are pulling down so much data, all your jobs, all your cost codes, all your vendors, it does make it sometimes difficult, especially when you're working with different devices that might be older or not have as much space in them. Sometimes you can run into some hurdles. So within the data sync of the mobile app, which we'll talk about here in just a second, we're continually making those enhancements as well. Now, some of you guys might be unfamiliar with this, but appreciate the form building function. This is what you guys have the ability to do. And you can come through here. I think, let's see, look for this one. So we'll take that timesheet again. This is the new form builder. It's much quicker to use because it appreciate kind of navigating through here. Building forms is very quickly. Appreciate you select the categories and then you add questions to those categories however you see fit. And then this is kind of a little example here. But some new functionality that we have put in here is that once you've built the questions and answers, you can control the email narrative. A lot of people don't know that this is in the program. So if every time I want to email this timesheet, it'll give an automatic notification in the subject line that this is a new timesheet submitted by the user that submitted it. And then in the body, I wanted it to say a new timesheet's been submitted by the user who submitted it on this date. And I could even underscore what job name it's from. So see, all that is fair game, and you're in full control of this. Also, if you want to have keyword searching, you can, and it be available here, you can apply any of the questions and answers that are required or a part of a form process, like the job name and number and the user who submitted it and the date and time stamp. You can have that automatically filled here and make it keyword searchable and keyword hot. So all this is fair game. It applies that form reference on the top of the form for keywording, and then this gets you the ability to keyword search anything in the system. So we're really excited about that. The last part of it, and there's two different pieces here. These are new features. We have routing, so you can have predefined routing groups. If you didn't want this dialogue to be seen by the end user, so all they know is they just submit the form, it doesn't matter what happens after that, then you can ignore these questions here, and then it wouldn't show up on their form. However, it could have a predefined routing group underneath the hood for expense reports, or in this case, a timesheets. So you can predefine these workflow scenarios and have them automatically follow whatever process you'd like. And we're continually going to be enhancing this with kind of some role-based routing function as well, where we can pull the roles from your accounting program, or who's the project manager and the superintendent and so on and so forth. We're going to be able to read that and then apply those routing rules accordingly. Now, the second piece, which we think is really going to be the future of what our application does, is if I come through here and I say, okay, I want these timesheets to be stored in my document management program. Then, and I'll kind of walk through that as well. Then I can set up a folder structure where it says, okay, every single timesheet needs to go into a folder that is called timesheets. And the timesheet, underneath timesheets, I want it to be organized by the user who submitted it. So I'll put in users who submitted it. So what that's going to do is create a folder structure that I define. I could create other hierarchies here if I wanted to, but every timesheet is going to go into timesheet, click on the timesheet folder, and then drop down all your employees. So all that's going to be manipulated here and configured here on the front end on the first time, and then you'll be able to control that folder structure, and it's built by who's submitting these documents. And what's novel about this is, unlike document management systems today where you have to tell it where it needs to go and tell it what it is, our system eliminates that need. So it automatically knows what it is and where it needs to go, and if you need to search it, it's mobile and it's data and it's great. So we're going to be making some even more enhancements to this over time, but we're real excited about what it is today. Same concept with file naming. If I want to have, timesheet underscore date submitted underscore user who submitted it, I can have that be kind of default the naming structure. And all we're doing is we're applying these tokens, which are the questions and the answers, to build out this structure. So we're excited about that too, documents, and we'll show kind of the enhancements there as well. Actions, this is not so new, but you can add any changes. Once you've made some changes here, you can apply them to anybody that's missing the form, and it saves it. A new feature is actually a movement feature. And the best way to kind of explain this is through an example. One of our clients, whenever they submit forms, it's routed to a project manager and then to a superintendent. It's kind of an issues management thing with a warranty request form. What happened, though, is that the owner's executive assistant wanted to be notified so that they can notify the owner about statuses of things and when things happen in regards to a form. Although they're not involved in the route, they just want to be notified. So what we've created is essentially like a movement notifier. And you can put in as many emails in here as you want. You can default the subject and everything else just like the other templating. But it just simply sends out notifiers or interested parties, just, hey, heads up, this is going on. I know you're not involved in it, but it's kind of built for kind of an executive view, just for notification purposes, even if they're not necessarily involved in the route. So this is a kind of another little process, and this works off of any submission or any movement of the form. So if I routed it or I submitted it. So another really good feature that we built into the program. And it's kind of the precursor, I guess, to what we're going to be coming with later, which is going to be some alerting functionality as well, and some more proactive monitoring. So this is really some of the big enhancements in the form builder portion. But we also have the report builder, which many of you guys may not know. But the report builder allows me to come in and build any type of report form that I want. So if I came under here to this timesheet, I can control the look and the feel of the timesheet. So I can kind of, it's just like Word and Excel, but essentially I can import any categories, and I can use the tokens, which are the answers to the questions, to auto-populate this. So if you've got kind of a grid-based Excel spreadsheet, you can copy and paste that in here. You can build it on the fly. Some of the more elaborate stuff you may have to use us still for. And we don't mind doing that. It's part of our custom division, so we can customize you anything as well. But this lets you gives you the ability to kind of pretty up some of those other forms that are pretty just simplistic forms. If you just want to drop a logo and put some titling, put some legalese on a document, or copy some stuff over from Word, all that's fair game. And you can now do that within the program. So we're literally applying database values onto a output that gets rendered. Which is normally a programmatic thing. We can actually do that kind of in a wizard view like this. So this was a big enhancement for us as well. Now, the last piece that we're excited about, and this is the document management piece. We built this. The first pass of documents was kind of this big button or big icon oriented. It was good for selecting the PDF versions or the big icons on a smartphone. But there was a limitation in that because you couldn't see the full tree structure. And we really didn't anticipate people pushing documents as much as they did. They wanted to use it for everything because it was mobile. They didn't have to RDP into their server to look at a document. So what we did is we said, okay, great, we want to encourage that. So what we did is we built out a structure that has that mimics more of the folder structuring that you have with the keyword searching. So if I'm looking for something for Tara, I can just type Tara here and find Tara's timesheets and click on them and view them. If I wanted to look at Beasley's expense reports, I can type in Sterling, and here's his employee folder as well as his expense report folder. And this, if I want to go download it, I can double click on it, and here's his expense report. Here. So I can kind of preview it and see at $600, okay. And then I can see all of his receipts as well. And appreciate this is all from a web browser. Now this, what we're really excited about, is actually extended out to the mobile app. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fire up the mobile app and show you what we're able to do now within the eNTERFACE mobile forms app. So if you go to eNTERFACE mobile forms, this is the new look and feel, and I'm going to bounce into the forms in general, but now that because we're inside of documents, I'll show you this is in my application. I'm using an Android, but it's iOS as well. If I go into documents and I want to go run that same little search, and I'm looking for Sterling. It's the same functionality here. There's Sterling's expense reports, and I can click on it, and then this will show me his expense reports down here as well. So the same view, I'm just on a device on my smartphone. So this gives me all my corporate access to any folders. Now appreciate, remember, these are built by the forms that are put in here. Okay, so so I can go in any form that we create through eNTERFACE. It auto drops in the folder structure, but I can also do some other things with it. If I wanted to, for instance, if I wanted to drag this in to Sterling's structure here, and I wanted to kind of populate this back out, then what I can actually do is now whenever I'm inside of the mobile app, I can have access to it. Ooh, here. There. And now the same form here that I just dragged and dropped into my website is now available to me on my on my mobile device. Now I can also right click and I can share this. And I can share it with, let's say this was maybe some plans or some drawings, I could right click and share it with a group, which could be an internal group or an external group, or I could just share it specifically with a user. Maybe I want Steve to have access to this. And I save it, and then he now has access to it. No edit rights, but he can at least view it inside of his mobile app, or if he's an owner or whoever, he can have access to it through the portal. So we're real excited. I'm not going to do that because this is actually our little folder structure. But this whole process here does open up a lot of opportunity for us in regards to kind of the file sharing, and also kind of the more forms that we use, the broader this actually becomes. Now, I'll go in through here as well and kind of show you some of the functionality here. And I'll kind of end it on this note. This is the web app. I'm sorry, this is the mobile app. So all the same functionality that we had. I'll go back into that timesheet because it's a good example. This is where I can come in here and navigate through, and appreciate the forms are consistent with the website now. Kind of that white, gray background, all that permeates through now. And you see the navigation. We spend a lot of time trying to make this a much smoother interface when we fill out forms. So we're real excited about this. Duplication, same thing as the other. It creates a little tabbing structure, and then I can go in from there and I can continue duplicating out as many of these as I want. Now, I'll show you this as well. We talked about doing some of the duplication function. This is a fire alarm inspection. This is a really big form. It's got a lot of questions and answers. If I go to category 6, I'll show you this has got actually 9 different points. That's at 6.1 through 6.9. This company wanted to have them automatically filled out. So this is a really good example of how we can actually take that duplication function and the copy function and create templates. See, in form reference, we can go and build out a form how we want it to really be displayed and how we want it to be fillable. Good example would be that timesheet if we wanted all the days of the week already populated, or if we wanted this report, for example, to already have all those categories duplicated out. I could create here and call it like a form template, and this is a template for a fire alarm inspection, whatever the case. I could put that into my form reference, fill out my form, and submit it just as a kind of a test form. But what that allows me to do is I can come underneath here to the copy function, and this is a previous template that I made. So this is my fire alarm template. So when I copy it, here. And then now when I go to my category 6, I've got all my categories already pre-filled out for me. So all I have to do is just go to the ones that are applicable, fill those out, and then it can ignore the others, or we can, create a question set which allows them to put in A and not worry about it. So all this is fair game within the mobile app. So we're real excited about this. From the screen, appreciate you can get to your documents, you can submit your forms, you can go to unsubmitted. This is where that sync process we were talking about, we enhanced a lot of this. So we're real excited about eNTERFACE. This is kind of the new look and feel. This is eNTERFACE 2.0. This will be launched May 1st. So you can schedule your upgrade then accordingly. This has been in production here at a couple of different places, and then also our live site for really the last 3 months. So it's pretty battle tested, or not pretty battle tested. It is battle tested. And so we're really excited about that. So if you have more interest in looking at eNTERFACE and some of the new functionalities, whether or not you're if you're a customer or you're an interested customer, we'd love to sit down with you. What we're doing is very, very needed in construction, the customization and the usability, being able to configure these things on the fly and build your mobile initiative as you go is very, very vital. And that's what we're able to pull off here. And again, 2.0 is not the end for us. It's the beginning of something really special, we believe, and all the new functionality that's going to be coming down the pipe. We're excited. So that's all we've got for today. Appreciate you sitting in on this recording and reviewing kind of the new things that we're doing here in eNTERFACE. We're real excited, and we thank you guys for your time. For more information about eNTERFACE, please contact us on our website at interfaceforums.com, and we'd love to show you a demo, tell you more about our product, and also schedule your upgrade if you're already a customer. So thanks so much.